heard you all talking about LeBron. I coached the Cleveland Browns, best sports fans in America. What? And I was so happy to see that those people are going to have an opportunity to cheer for a great player again, who's from that area. And it really says a lot about a guy who wants to go back home and please people. And I was so
You were happy with the
that.
decision.
And happy for the people in Cleveland.
All right.
So wait, better sports fans than Tuscaloosa fans?
Oh, no.
Okay, okay. I just want to make sure.
Of course you go there.
Well, I just want to make sure.
All right, listen, we've been asking, we asked Spurrier as well, about the comments made by Big 12 Commissioner in terms of cheating. It pays at present. It pays at present is what he said. Your take on cheating in collegiate sports?
Well, I don't think that things have been better in college football from that standpoint, and I don't think that we're doing any better job of policing. I think they do a great job in our league, the SEC, which we kind of have this national reputation that we're good, so that means we've got to be doing something to get the players. But I don't think that's the case at all. But you actually get policed now by the public Twitter, Facebook. If you talk to a kid and you're not supposed to talk to him, he's going to put it on Twitter. Okay. So they don't have to police it. I mean, it gets policed because there's so much public information all the time about what happens, and there's so much attention to it that I don't think it's an issue in college football, and I don't see it happening much.
What did you get from Bowlesby electing to come out and say such a thing like that? I mean, what do you think provokes somebody in his position to say that?
You know, I can't really say that. You know, I just know that one thing as competitors, you know, as coaches, you're a competitor. So if you recruit a player and you lose them, you know, you're always looking for a reason. And one of the easiest excuses is to say the other guy did something illegal. Right. Which I don't buy into that. I mean, you know, guys got to make a decision on what's personally best for him in terms of where he can develop a career off the field by graduating from school, and on the field by seeing if he can play at the next level. And that's not for everybody, and the opportunities are different at every school.
You did have the Fluker and the Clinton Dix incidents, but you handled those in-house, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, you know, agents are a problem.
They're a problem. And again,
a problem.
He was talking further in his comments about there's no subpoena power in the NCAA, so you can't go out and interrogate. Your enforcement people can't interrogate an agent or a booster, right?
But I think the honesty and integrity, you know, cannot be questioned, you know, by people who are in these positions, because, you know, the number one thing that blows up my future and any coach's future is if you violate NCAA rules. So, you know, that's a big risk to be taken over winning a football game when you're talking about your family, your future, your career, and all the hard work you've done professionally to get to where you are.
Nick, Coach, rather, I'm sorry. I got to ask you this question because I haven't, and I don't play football, I watch it. And I rooted for you guys, and I had to come back and deal with him the next day. That loss to Auburn, what did that do to you for at least the next few days, if not the rest of the season? Because it devastated me, and I don't even play for you guys.
Well, there was a devastating loss, no doubt, for everybody in our organization. But, you know, I could kind of see it coming. You know, our team would won 2 national championships. We were 11-0. From the time we beat LSU, I saw our players change a little bit in terms of the entitlement that they had. They lost respect for winning. And when you do that, you lose respect for what it takes to win. Attention to detail, preparation, discipline. And we didn't play very well at Mississippi State. We didn't play a great game at Auburn, not taking anything away from their guys. They did play a good game. And we didn't play very well against Oklahoma. So we didn't finish the year like we needed to, and it was all because of it started to, from the foundation, we started losing some of the principles and values that the organization was built on. And I think it all came from complacency.
Is that going to help you for this upcoming season, being able to lean on that experience? What you just described was the residue of it, particularly in the absence of an A.J. McCarron, who I'm a fan of, and I don't think gets enough credit. We didn't talk about him enough with the kind of career he's had at Bama.
Well, I agree with you about A.J. McCarron. But we're in a totally different situation this year than we were a year ago. We lost the last 2 games. You know, players really are embarrassed about how they finished the season. And even though we have an untested team in some critical positions, like quarterback, need to rebuild the offensive line. Lots of defensive players are going to be new faces, but talented guys. and all these guys are capable, but the attitude of our team is completely different going into this season than it was a year ago, because we're trying to reestablish our identity, and I think the players are buying in to trying to reestablish that identity and getting back to the things that helped us be successful as a program for a long time.
So you've had 3 straight #1 ranked recruiting classes, and I've often wondered, what if you'd had a #1 ranked quarterback to go along with that? And I'm asking to put AJ in some perspective, because clearly he wasn't a first-round talent, though you could make the case he was a great college football quarterback. So what did he mean to the program, and not having him, what will that mean?
Well, I don't think there's any question about AJ did a fantastic job for our team for 3 years as a starter. I mean, he won as many games as anybody ever won, so that in and of itself tells you, and you could say, well, he played with a lot of good players. Well, he did, but he did a great job in managing what he was supposed to do to help those players play really well. And he distributed the ball well. He's smart. He didn't turn it over. So he was a fantastic player, and it means a lot, because football is a great team game. And then there's one position, quarterback. And we don't have a guy that can distribute the ball like we have 3 really good receivers. You know, Amari Cooper is a great player, and we have 3 really good running backs. Well, that guy's got to distribute the ball to those guys every down in the game. It's like a point guard in basketball. So having a guy at that position that does that well, like AJ did, is going to be critical to the success of our team this year.